Dr. Zoraida. Today, I will be presenting our research title named The Effect on Students' Competence in Using ChatGPT Between Gender. As AI tools like ChatGPT become more common in academic settings, it's important to understand how different groups of students use them, especially when it comes to gender differences. The objective of our research is simple yet important is we aim to determine whether there is a difference in competence when using ChatGPT between male and female students. In other words, do male and female students use ChatGPT differently in terms of effectiveness and confidence? Well, let's see to our hypothesis and framework. To test this, we used an independent sample t-test. Let me briefly explain our hypothesis. The null hypothesis, or H null, suggests that there is no significant difference between male and female students' competence in using ChatGPT. The alternative hypothesis, on the other hand, suggests that there is a significant difference. This statistical test allows us to compare the average scores between two independent groups, male and female students.
Explain about the sample and sampling technique used in our research. For this study, our sample consisted of 150 undergraduate students from University Pendidikan Sultan Idris. These students voluntarily answered our questionnaire, which we distributed using online platforms like WhatsApp and Telegram. To select our sample, we use method called stratified random sampling. This technique was chosen because our research aimed to compare the competence of male and female students in using ChatGPT. Let me explain what this means. First, we divide the population into two groups based on gender, which is male and female. Then, randomly selected students from each group to take part in the study. This method help to make sure that both male and female students are fairly represented in the sample. In short, stratified random sampling helps us to collect, balance, and accurate the data, which is important for our analysis. It also makes sure that our findings reflect the real situation between male and female students at UPSI.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to Dr. Zuraidah. Now I will continue for the next part, which is the measurement items. For this study, the instrument we used to collect the data was an online questionnaire distributed through Google Forms. The questionnaire was divided into two main sections, Sections A and Section B. Section A focused on collecting the demographic information of the respondents. It consists of 7 items including gender, age, student category, faculty, semester, ethnicity, and religion. This section helped us describe the profile of the 150 students from University Pendidikan Sultan Idris who participate in the study. Section B of the questionnaire was designed to measure the students' competence in using ChatGPT for learning purpose. It contained a total of 8 items, and each item was measured using a 5-point Likert scale ranging from 1 strongly disagree to 5 strongly agree. These items reflect the students' confidence, motivations, personal learning preference, and ability to apply ChatGPT in their academic work. The items in Section B were adapted from multiple academic sources, with the main reference being the article by Annamalai 2025. This article provided the theoretical foundations for the constructs used, particularly competence and motivation in AI usage. In our report, we match each adapted item with its original statement from the source, as shown in the measurement items table. This method ensures transparency, content validity, and alignment with previous research in this field. This approach ensured that our instrument was both reliable and relevant to the research objective, which is to compare which is to compare the competence level between male and female students in using ChatGPT.
Assalamualaikum and good morning to Dr. Zurada. I'm going to continue my friend presentation and I'm going to talk about the data analysis technique. In this data analysis technique, we focus on two aspects, which is descriptive and inferential analysis. For descriptive analysis, it was summarized by the SPSS apps, which is to summarize the background of 150 students from UPSI, and is including the frequency and percentage of the respondent, and most of the respondents are female, which is the age between 18 to 21 years old, and the most of them are on studies in FPE, which is Faculty of Economic, and they are focused and they are from semester 2, which is the ethnics really high on Malay, and they are religious Islam. But for next, in the inferential analysis, actually we use independent sample t-test because we used to focus on two variables, which is male and female. So from this, we use independent sample t-test because to determine whether the significant difference in student in using ChatGPT between male and female. This test actually focus on the objective to determine whether there is a significant difference between two means and two unrelated group, and the variables focus on the male and female. This analysis actually compare the average of the score, which is means of two independent, as I said just now, which is male and female. So this analysis compare the average score, and it somehow show male actually higher score mean, which is 4.19, then the female student, which is for female student is 3.9896, I'm sorry, and the p-value of 0.036. Since p-value is less than 0.05, we reject the null hypothesis and conclude that there is a significant difference in ChatGPT competence based on gender. This suggests that gender influence students in competence in using ChatGPT.
Good morning to Dr. Zuraida and my fellow friends. Today, I will present the finding of our study. I will continue with the profile of respondent, followed by the result of the independent sample t-test analysis. Okay, so we move to profile of respondent. A total of 150 respondents took part in this study. Their background is categorized into 6 aspects: gender, age, faculty, semester, and ethnicity and religion. If we look at the gender, there were 58 male respondents and 92 female respondents. And the percentage for the female respondent is 61.3%. This indicates that the majority of respondents were female. If we move to the next aspect, that is age. Most respondent is 18 to 21 years old, with a higher percentage, 64%. This shows that the majority were from the younger age group. We move to the next aspect, that is faculty. The highest number of respondents is from faculty FPE with 54 people with a percentage 36%. This shows a diverse academic background, with FPE being the most represented. We move to the next aspect, semester. The majority of respondents is being answered by 112 people from semester 2 with a percentage 74.7%. Others were from semester 1 to semester 8 but in much smaller number. This suggests that the most of the participants were second year students. Uh, Next, we go to the aspect ethnicity. The ethnicity is majority is from 166 respondents that are from ethnicity Malay with a percentage 75.3%. And lastly, we go to the religion. Most religion were Muslim, which made up to 84 percentage with a frequency 166, followed by Christian, Hindus, and others. Okay, for summary of profile, most respondents were young female student from semester 2, mainly from faculty FPE, and were Malay and Muslim. So we go to the independent sample t-test result. Next, we conduct an independent sample t-test to compare the mean score between male and female respondents. If we look at the table, we can see that the mean score for male respondent is 4.16, while for female respondent it is 3.6 3.96. This shows that male respondents score higher than female respondent in this variable. We go to independent sample test, equal variance assume. For leaving test significant, that is only 0.x00, that is equal variance are assumed. For the t-value is 2.11x, degree of freedom is 140x, significant to tell is 0.036, the mean difference is 0.036, and 95% confidence interval is 0.015 and 0.441. For the interpretation, because the p-value is 0.036, which is less than 0.05, we reject the null hypothesis. This result is statistically significant. It means there is a significant difference between male and female respondents score, and male score higher. To conclude the profile of respondent and the result, our respondents were mostly female, young, and from semester 2, especially from the faculty FPE. The independent sample test shows that the gender affect the score significantly. Male respondents score higher, and the difference is statistically confirmed with a p-value of 0.036 and t-value of 2.11x. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Now, let's move on to our findings. The result from our independent t-test showed that male students had a higher average score of 4.19, whereas female students had a slightly lower average of 3.96. The p-value we obtained was 0.036, which is less than our significance level of 0.05. This means our result is statistically significant. Therefore, we rejected the null hypothesis and accepted the alternative. In conclusion, our findings shows that gender does have a significant effect on how competently students use ChatGPT. This opens up further questions. Why is there a difference? It could be related to factors like prior experience with technology, levels of digital literacy, or even motivation to adopt AI tools. We suggest that future studies explore these areas in more depth.